Before you can start entering products, you first have to organize your raw data. This is how you start data entry. The first step is you need to figure out where the product is going to go in which category, where you're going to get the descriptions for the product, the pictures of the product, and the part numbers. Usually if you go to your supplier or to your vendor or to the manufacturer, they'll give you an Excel spreadsheet with this information. Sometimes they won't, which requires you to go to various different websites who have organized data and get that information from there. The manufacturers usually do not tell you which category you should put the product for because they assume you would know that yourself. If you go to Shopping Cart Elite, under categories, there's an import feature where it can give you a few hints on where you should put the product in which category. If you use that feature in Shopping Cart Elite, that information will be syncable with Amazon and other Shopping Cart Elite stores. What that means is if you ever want to list products on Amazon later on, or if Shopping Cart Elite data will be available for you through the data feeds, they will automatically go to the proper categories if you use that feature in Shopping Cart Elite. The descriptions is something you have to do yourself and use other resources such as the manufacturer's website, calling the manufacturer directly, and researching your competitors to get as much information about the product as you can. So for the descriptions, you usually would go to the manufacturer's website, get the information there, research your competitors, get the information from them. Maybe you have some personal information about the product. If there is no product information on the manufacturer's website, or maybe there's not enough, you can always call the manufacturer and tell them that you want to do a press release on a certain product that they carry, and you need as much information as possible from them so you can get the perfect sales pitch for this product. The pictures can usually be found online, or the manufacturer would provide them to you, or you can find them on their website. Part numbers are usually a part of the Excel spreadsheet that you get from the manufacturer. If they don't provide that to you, you can always look it up with your competitor by adding the item to their cart. It should be displayed there, or you can ask your mentor, or you can ask the Shopping Cart Elite for reference websites that do provide the part numbers. For the second part, you need the prices. So you need the manufacturer's suggested retail price, you need the jobber price that the manufacturer provides you, and the map, if one exists, which is minimum advertising price. If there is no map, you usually put a web price, which is above or at jobber. What that means is the web price is what your customer will see on your website. You may want to make it more than jobber price so you can make more money. The third part is you need your cost, how much this product costs you. If you can get a flat percent, which would be your cost, for example, the manufacturers can say the jobber price is $100 and you get 20% off from jobber down the whole line for this product. So you would be able to easily enter that information inside Shopping Cart Elite by putting in jobber is $100 and my cost is 20% off from that. Some manufacturers do not provide a flat percent for their cost, making you do more work by entering the cost one by one. It's usually not a big deal, but the problem is whenever they do a price increase or a price update, you then have to go through every single entry again and modify it versus just going in once and putting in a flat percent and you're done. Inside Shopping Cart Elite, the single primary number that you have to put in is the MSRP, which is the manufacturer's suggested retail price. Usually the manufacturers have a jobber price, which is a flat percent from the MSRP. For example, they will say MSRP is 100, jobber is 80. But you can always do $100 MSRP minus 20% from MSRP would be jobber. And you would enter that inside Shopping Cart Elite. So next time when the manufacturer changes their jobber price, and now they'll tell you that the jobber is 15% from MSRP, or maybe they lower their prices and they'll say that the jobber is 25% from MSRP, you simply go in once and you change that one single number and everything gets updated versus going one by one. Same goes for the map or the web price, same goes for the cost. The fourth thing you need is to find out if there is any extra fees on top of the product price, which includes dropship fee, credit card fee, special order fee. There's all kinds of different fees that could be applied to you that you don't know until you place your first order. So make sure you find that out, and if there is an extra fee, make sure you enter that in your product under the shipping section so that charge can be passed along to your customer and not coming from your profits. Then you need to figure out the dimensions for the product. Majority of manufacturers do not have this information. They simply go by either weight or a flat rate. If they do provide this information, this will help you establish a live rate either from UPS, FedEx, or USPS. If you don't have this information, you will have to rely on either free shipping or a flat rate if the manufacturer has one. For the dimensions, if the manufacturer does not provide them to you, you can ask them to give you approximate dimensions for each category of products. Sometimes it works. For example, if you are selling air intake, they all come in the flat, same box, which means the dimensions are approximately the same. It might be a few pounds off or a few inches off, but overall is the same. With an exhaust, which can be a very small box for a muffler or a medium box for an axle back or a huge box for a cat bag, that won't work, which means you need the weight and you need the dimensions. If the manufacturer or your vendor does not provide you with the dimensions, they have to give you at least the weight. And then for the dimensions, you can make them up. Theoretically, you don't need the actual dimension of length, width, and height. The reason why you need this dimension, the reason you normally need length, width, and height is to establish the product's girth. What is girth? Girth is a formula that UPS and FedEx and USPS uses to establish how many cubic inches are inside the box. Why do you need that? Well, sometimes you can sell a box that weighs 10 pounds, for example, a fender, but UPS will take that box and categorize it as a 140-pound box based on the girth. They will call it the oversized box fee and charge that on your UPS bill. So the reason why you want to have the length, width, and height is to be very precise on getting the accurate rate for shipping using the live rate feature. So you will never have to pay for shipping for your customer or lose money from your profits on the shipping. The second reason why is if you ever sell on Amazon or any other website that require that information, you're going to have to enter it then, so you might as well make it up right away. And the final reason is if you ever decide to sell these products yourself, this feature will allow you to consolidate boxes together. So for example, if you have the accurate dimensions of an intake and you have the accurate dimensions of something else, let's say a shift knob, and the customer orders an intake and a shift knob, and in the system you'll enter in that you have a big enough box that will fit an intake and a shift knob, you'll be able to consolidate and combine those two items and not overcharge your customer. So your customer will get a savings with the shipping and it'll do the calculation for you. The sixth thing that you need is figure out your shipping charge. If you're going to be using the live rate, no problem. As long as you have the weight, length, width, and height, you'll be okay. One other thing about live rate is you have to make sure that you enter the accurate information for the supplier. Because if you're going to be using live rate, you need to have a from zip code and to zip code. You're going to have the to zip code because you're shipping it to your customer, but from which zip code is it shipping from? That information will be picked up from your supplier information who's shipping out the product for you. Therefore, you should have the supplier information properly filled out in order for this feature to work. If you decide to use flat rate shipping or free shipping, you don't need the dimensions at all. So you simply go to flat rate shipping and you put in how much it's going to cost for ground shipping, for next day, for second day, and for international. If you decide to do free shipping, you can specify which country the free shipping will apply to. The seventh thing that you need is the processing time. How long is it going to take to process and ship out this product? This information will help your customers know exactly when they should expect to receive the product, and you want to make sure you enter the accurate information for that. The eighth thing that you need is the specifications for the product and for the part number if they're available. Specifications for the product, you can make those up if they're not available, or get the information from the manufacturer and then make them up. What is the specification? Specifications is information that usually is not required to be there, but would be helpful for the customer. For example, which country is the product made in? Or what material is it made out of? Or how much horsepower it increases? Those are specifications for the product itself. Specifications for the part number would be an example such as how much horsepower does this particular part number increase for this specific car application. For specifications for the part number, you can put in information such as what is included inside the product. For example, for calipers, you would say quantity of calipers, and then it would say 2. Or how much horsepower does this particular part number increase for this particular car? And it would say horsepower increase 10. So this information is something that would help your customer decide if they want to buy this particular part. It also looks good on your website. The final thing is organizing this information for the data entry. You take 1 through 8, you align it the way you need it in an Excel spreadsheet, figure out how you want to organize your categories, how you want to enter this data, and then you can start entering it. How to organize everything and how to enter it, that information is available on the next set of videos.